Hello, crafty friends. Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. My name is Melissa Miller. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southern California. And today I wanted to make a quick, simple card using a stamp set from our a-Bration catalog. a-Bration goes August 3rd through the end of September 2021. And for every $50 or $100 you spend either in our mini holiday catalog or our annual catalog, you can choose a free item. So the free item that I have chosen to use today is called Delicate Dahlias, and this is a distinctive stamp set. It's got, when you open up the case, you get two sheets of stamps here. You've got one that is your outline for your flower, the outline for your leaves, the outline for another flower, a couple sentiments. And then on the second one, you've got the body of your flower, and this is where we're going to get our distinctive images. We've also got the image for our leaf, and then the other flower, and a couple more sentiments. So today I thought we would make a sympathy card. Unfortunately, it is a fact of life that we do need sympathy cards. But I wanted to make something simple, just something super simple, a one-layer card that you don't need to have a liner when you mail it. This will go through the post office really easy. On this one, I did put a couple sequins, but you know, I think if I were to mail this one, I would put a piece of paper in front of it. So today we are going to do that. And I have decided to make the purple one. Our colors that we will be using are Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, and Garden Green. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got everything all set up in my Stamparatus. Let's get these ink pads open so we're ready. That's the Fresh Freesia. I've got Highland Heather. And then I will be using Gorgeous Grape for my outline on the stamps, on the flower. So here's my Stamparatus. I've got it all set up, my plates, because I have extra plates. And I have found it easiest to start with the outline flower until you have everything all lined up perfectly. Now I've already got them all lined up. What we're going to do here is we're going to take our white, and I've got this cut at 3.5 by 4 7/8. I'm going to place it in here like this. And let's go ahead and do our outline. I've got it already all set up. Let's get a good image on there. Move that up a little bit so you can see. And there we've got our main color. So that stamps beautifully. I'm just going to wipe that off real quick. We're going to bring in our other stamp, the body of the flower. Now this one, when you, I say you want to do your outline first, because what I did was before I attached this here, I just laid it over and you can see where it fits in that outline. And then you'll put it on your paper and then you'll just pick it up with your plate there. And my OCD got the best of me. I was a little bit frustrated trying to line up the petals perfectly, but you know what? It's more of a whimsy stamp. They're not going to line up perfectly. So I had to let go of my OCD habits and just do it. So I first stamped with my Fresh Freesia. I am going to take a sponge dauber, because when I looked up dahlias, they have a darker color in the middle and then the tips kind of go lighter. So I've got my light color there. I'm going to take a sponge dauber and just add a little bit darker color to the middle of that flower. And we're just going to dab it on there. And then when we ink up that image, wait till you see this. When we ink up that image, you get this different shade of purple in there from the Fresh Freesia. It's a little bit darker. You know what, let's add a little bit more ink to that. I want that darker purple, just a little bit darker. And because we're using the Stamparatus, it's just going to stamp perfectly in the same place as previously. Okay, there we go. Now I think you can see that. You can see how we've got the darker Highland Heather there in the middle compared to the fresh freesia around the edges. So we've already got this stamp in here. So we need to line that up where we want it. We want to take that down a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. That way we can add another image. Hopefully I didn't get my head in there. I'm going to do that right there. I'm going to put my magnets on here, and this is really important. You need to make sure that your magnets are on there really well so that paper does not move. So let's add some more fresh freesia here. And then a little bit of our Highland Heather on our sponge dauber. Add that to the middle. I think that's going to be pretty. You know what, we really don't need to do the whole image here because we are only going to get part of it. I just wanted to add a couple extra flowers in here. Okay, that looks good. But I want to tell you, don't move your paper. We're going to take this plate out and we're going to go back to our outline. Don't move that paper. Leave that on there with your magnets. We're going to do our outline. And that's perfect. All lined up perfect. Now we'll switch over here and get the smaller image, excuse me, on this side. And here, I think that's probably pretty good. I think that's where I want it. So I'm going to take my magnets, get that set on there, put the other magnet here so it does not move. That's good. And since we've already got our outline in there, we can leave that one in there. We're going to do our outline, take this plate out, and then get our other plate and put that back in. And this is great for multiples. When you do multiples, this just makes it so easy. All right, all inked up with fresh freesia. We're going to take a little bit of our Highland Heather on our sponge dauber and add that color. Now, normally I am not a purple person. I like pink. But I thought the purple looked the best. I don't know, I just really liked it. I did do a couple colors, but I thought the purple was the prettiest for this card. All right, that's good. So now we are all done with our flowers. So I'm gonna take this plate out. Let me wipe that off. I didn't wipe off my other one either. Let's wipe off the other one. Take this plate out. Wipe that off real quick so we don't transfer ink to anything. There we go. And put our ink pads away because now we will be using the green, but we're going to do some simple masking. And this is how you get the leaves behind your main image. I want to make sure I don't get ink on my hands. Okay, so now we are going to bring in our leaves. Let's do the outline of our leaf first, but we're going to mask this off. So when I do masking, I have these Avery labels that I just got at Office Depot, and they work perfect. You get 10 sheets in here. They last forever. I think I've had this probably 5 or 6 years. And I just stamped some of the outline image on the labels, and then I just peeled off the back. We're just going to cover this. Now our flowers or our leaves are going to go behind these 2 flowers. So let's get that covered up. Hopefully I'm not getting my head in there. We're just going to mask that off. You know what? Let's take it back a little bit. We want to see the outline a little bit. That way we know we're going to get a good leaf image. Okay, so there's one that is masked off. Now let's mask off our other image here. we've got to find it. We've got to find where it lines up. It's not hard. Just turn it around a little bit. All right, so that is all set. Now I've got to remember how I lined it. Yep, that's how I did it. Okay, so we're going to put a magnet in here because we do not want this to move. And we can put our other magnet right here on this side. Let's do our leaf. I used garden green for the outline image. Just get that inked up really well. Stamp that down, and that's perfect. You know what? It's not perfect. The tip of that leaf. There we go. Now it's good. I'm going to wipe that off and then flip this over because that's where I have my body of the leaf already mounted on my Stamparatus. And here I'm using Granny Apple Green. And this is a distinctive stamp, so you get that layering in there. You get that shading. All right, so let's go ahead and stamp that. And that's pretty good, pretty darn good. Okay, so now we can take off our masking, and you will see that that leaf is behind the flower, just where I wanted it. Now I also, because I was doing a single layer here, I didn't want to add any embellishments, so that's why I did the single leaves like they were floating around. But let's do our sentiment first. So we're going to bring in our next plate. I already have it all lined up. We are going to use our memento. So just in case we need to re-stamp this, let's put a magnet on it so it doesn't go anywhere. Take our sympathy stamp, get that inked up. And with the memento, I have found that I do need to usually ink it up a couple times just because I like a real dark image when I stamp a sentiment. Actually, that looks pretty good. Okay, so that image is stamped. Let's get rid of the Stamparatus. And you know, I was trying to keep this super simple, but I didn't want to keep it. I wanted to add a little bit more interest to it. So what I did was I took our Stitched with Whimsy dies, and this die does not cut. It only gives you the impression. So this die does not cut. It just gives the impression. And I am going to go run this through the die cutting machine real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I ran that through the die cutting machine, and you can see it did not cut anything. It just left the image. It gave us that stitched line around the edge, and it just adds a little more, you know, detail to it. I just wanted to have a little more something on there besides just a plain simple card. So I wanted to add my leaves, and again, when you do these images, it is easiest to do your outline first. So we're just going to kind of randomly place these on there. I was kind of hoping for, like, you know, kind of floating around. That's why I just scattered them. I just wanted them to appear like they were floating. All right, we've got our 3 flowers, and now we're going to come over to our lighter color, which is our Granny Apple. Let's add that in there, and you can tell, you can look through the image and see where it needs to go. So that's perfect. Let's do our other leaf here. And if it's a little off, you know what, that's okay. We're doing whimsy here. It's not going to line up absolutely perfect. There we go. Good. So now we're already done with this card. We're already done with the hardest part. We've already finished our stamping and our sentiment. Now we just need to build it. So let's get these out of the way. So I've got my card base. I've got my layering pieces. I've got my, what is this color? This is the Gorgeous Grape and some basic black. And I've got my card base here. Let's get that dauber out of the way. And we're just going to attach these. Real simple. So we're just going to attach all our pieces here. We're going to add our glue really quick. And because this is stitched right there, you want to add just a little bit more. I did my basic black piece first, so it would kind of pick up on the sentiment. And when you use the liquid glue, you can adjust, which is what I always do. Nobody wants to have to send a sympathy card, so I always find it easier to have them pre-made because I can make them like this, but when I need one, I have a difficult time coming up with anything. I'm usually thinking about the situation, and it's just more difficult for me to come up with an idea. So this way, you can have them already all pre-made. You don't have to worry about coming up with an idea. And this stamp set is so nice. You can do multiples really, really quickly. So let's add that there. And we're done. We're basically done. Now, of course, you could add some embellishments, but I wanted it flat. I wanted it to mail easy. I didn't want to have to worry about, you know, putting a piece of paper to protect it in the envelope so it doesn't get stuck in the postage machine. And that's really all I wanted to do today, was just show you the ease and simplicity of making a sympathy card with the items from our a-Bration catalog. So I would like to send out one of these. Actually, I'll send out 2 of these for everybody that comments. Today is August 8th. I'm going to post this video on August 9th. So everybody that comments before Sunday, August 22nd, that'll give you 2 weeks. I will send out 2 cards. I will do a random drawing. I will send out 2 cards. So please comment and share. According to YouTube, I need to get comments and shares in order to have my videos show up in other places. So if you could do that, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Bye-bye.